You know, man, as a fan, like I miss it so much. I can't even imagine from you guys. And then the thing that people forget about too is like all of the crew and the people that come along with the shows and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, the band, we talk to them every day, and it just sucks because, you know, we want to help them get back out on the road and support their families too. I mean, there was 13 of us on a bus, and then, you know, right when it stops, all those 13 families are affected. You know, right. It's crazy, and all around the world. I mean, it's not just us, but I mean, it's it'll be nice to get back to work. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Chris, what's up, man?
Dude, you're blowing up, man. You're everywhere. I see you on Instagram. I see you everywhere, and I'm just like, man, you don't call us anymore.
Remember the days?
No, man.
You got Danny. You got Florida Georgia Line all calling you now. Little boy from LOCASH, man. I remember the days.
I remember when Coop used to have to carry around his own microphone, his own duffel bag. Now he's got a full-blown crew.
Life is good, man.
Yeah, man.
It's good times. And you know, you guys are one of my favorites. You guys know that. I've been a big fan since the very beginning. I still actually have that picture hanging up in my office from the hoedown there at YCD back in the day. So I appreciate you guys making time, man. And I want to jump right into this. I want to talk about Beers to Catch Up On, and I want to talk about the album Brothers as well. The God Thing, by the way, really quick, my favorite song. I mean, that song, dude, is so freaking good. I've listened to it a ton. The album's really good, just in a whole. But let's go Beers to Catch Up On, because as I understand it, this is a song that you guys actually recorded, paid for on your own before all the big hits and all of that. Can you guys walk me through this song and what it means to you and how cool it is to finally get this tune out to the fans?
Go ahead, Chris.
We when we took this, when we were with our old label, which we won't mention names. But we were over there, and we took this to put on the last album, the Fighters album. We're like, man, we really want to push this song. This is great. Rhett wrote this. Rhett just knows, you know, Rhett Akins knows what LOCASH speaks. It's, for some reason, the guy's got it for us. You know what I mean? And for obviously a ton of other people.
Sure.
But we picked the song up. We pushed it, and you know, whatever reason, the label didn't want it to put on the album. So like, all right, we're not going to lose this song. And I remember Rhett calling P, and Preston's calling me. He's like, dude, Rhett's blowing me up saying the song didn't make the album. I'm going to give it to somebody else. And I'm like, no, just hold on. Please hold on. Because we knew there was a transition happening. And we went into a studio, recorded ourselves, sent it over to Loba here at BMG and Carson. And they absolutely loved it. They're like, man, I've never heard LOCASH like this. I'm like, well, where have you been, first of all? Anyway, second of all. But it brings that thing. This song is such a it's not like a slow song, you know. It's one of those songs that still has a positive, you know, that positive reinforcement behind it, and we all have beers to catch up on. And perhaps it's during a pandemic. Now we definitely have a lot more beers to catch up on, so it's kind of perfect timing.
It's funny because that's the first thing I thought of too when I listened to this song, and it's got so much more behind it. But the first thing I thought of was like, the positive of this whole pandemic quarantine thing is that, and I'm sure you guys feel the same, is I got to spend so much more time with my 3 kids, like so much more time that it's really changed my life completely, because I got to see some things that I wouldn't have being at work all the time. And so that's definitely a positive. But then when I think about some of the other things, like, man, I miss something so small as calling a buddy up and saying, let's go to B-Dubs, bro. We're going to have a couple brews. We're going to watch some football and just relax for a little bit. And, that's kind of the message that I got behind the song, especially this time that we're going through right now. So I appreciate it. It's a great tune, guys. I want to talk about, man. I was stalking you guys on Instagram, as I always do, but about 2 weeks ago, you guys posted this really cryptic message, and I love it. It looks like it was a Zoom jam session. And the word, I'm going to read the quote, wrote a jammer today. I'm wondering if you guys can give me, because we're old pals, if you can give me any deets on this track, why you're so excited about it, and go from there.
Man, I tell you what, we've been writing a bunch on Zoom like every day and just piling songs up because, it's kind of all we can do right now is just get the next album ready. And that particular day, do you know who was in the picture, Chris? I can't remember who's in that one. I'm trying to think of the song we wrote that day because, we wrote a jammer yesterday, wrote a jammer the day before.
I love it.
We just wrote one we're really fired up about with Bobby Pinson. And, yeah, everybody knows Bobby Pinson. He's got a great song. He was actually a country artist at one time too. But we're just trying to write music that's really uplifting right now, because we don't want to be like right on the nose of the pandemic or anything like that and talk about those kind of issues. But we want to bring smiles to everybody's face. It's kind of like I Love This Life did, and One Big Country Song did. You know, we want to be those guys that bring the energy and the feel good to the radio station and to the ears of all the listeners. You know, so anytime we capture that feeling, it's a jammer.
So I think
right now, Coop, that I love, that I cannot wait to get out on the radio. And I mean, I was just emailed our management like, hey man, can we, because we're trying to get another artist involved that no one would expect. Like no one would expect.
I love it.
And it's I mean, can I even tell them the title, P?
Yeah, I mean, if you tell them the title, you'll tell them everything, and that's fine with me. I don't care.
All right. You figure out who the artist is. It's real tough, okay? Right. The song is called Beach Boys.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait to hear that, guys. That's going to be killer. Really killer.
I'll just send it to you. I'll send you the demo. It doesn't even have our voice on it yet.
I'd love to hear it.
But we just wrote it. I'll send it to you and see what you think.
I'd love to hear it. The other night, I was, we got the kids to bed and all that. My wife's having a glass of wine. I'm having a beer. And we like to do this thing where we put on these different songs, and I ask her if she's ever heard a song, because I'm obsessed with music, have always been. And she's kind of like your mainstream normal listener, right? And so I'll put on these songs. She's like, no, damn it, that's so good. And it got us talking about, after a couple of drinks, I was like, there should be a show or a podcast where they talk about these songs that really most people never hear. Because, for instance, you guys put out Brothers, right? And there's 11 tracks. Most people are going to hear maybe 2 or 3 of those songs, depending on what you release. Right. And that's the same thing for every artist. Garth Brooks, right? I mean, he puts out an album. Most people are only going to hear 2 or 3 of those songs. I wonder if there's a song that you guys have put together that sticks out in your head that you're like, man, that's a song I hope everybody hears.
I think mine is probably God Thing. I love God Thing on the Brothers album. Just because, you know, I grew up, my daddy's a preacher, and I kind of grew up feeling like, you know, God was a center point in my life. And so to have, you know, Chris and I, our journey go through all these ups and downs and in betweens, and then, you know, still have a #1 song during the pandemic. That's a God thing, you know, things like that. And so I kind of lived by that mantra, and we didn't write that song, but Chris sent it to me. He heard it, sent it to me. Man, it spoke to our hearts immediately. And so that's probably one of the songs that I hope that everybody investigates in the album and finds and stumbles across. What about you, Chris?
Mine's definitely a B-side, but I mean, I go through some of the songs, and like you said, dude, you understand it, but the fans don't understand. There's so many songs that you wish that everyone could hear, and you could put it out on radio, but obviously, you know, the charts are already clogged already. That would just clog up even more. And there's a song called "Till the Wheels Fall Off" that on the Fighters. And Preston tried to get me to cut that song so many times. He wrote the song, and I'm like, no, man, I didn't write it. I ain't cutting that. And I'll tell you what, we end up cutting it, and I end up singing it. And it's just every time I hear it, I'm like, why wasn't this on radio?
Right? They're both.
I have another one.
Yeah,
I have another one. One more. Shipwrecked.
Ooh.
Have you heard Shipwrecked yet?
I have. Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, that's my jam.
It's a great tune.
That's my jam.
Great tune.
Yeah.
I wonder on the flip side of that then, because One Big Country Song did amazing things, and I was so stoked for you guys, man. So well deserved. It's a phenomenal song. And, you know, I Know Somebody, I Love This Life. When you get that song, do you just go, well, this one's the moneymaker here. This is the #1.
Man.
With the Know Somebody we did.
Yeah.
Go with One Big Country Song. But I Know Somebody we definitely knew that was just a monster. I mean, again, Rhett. And
the head of our A&R sent us One Big Country Song. You want to tell that story, Chris? I mean, kind of throws Chris under the bus a little bit.
I know you're going to throw me under the bus, but go ahead, whatever.
You know, Sarah at BMG, she has got an amazing set of ears, and she says, hey, you guys got to hear this song. I got this song And so she sends it to us in our text message. We listened to it, and I think we both thought it was a great song. But was it LOCASH? Was it going to be? I mean, we had like one slot left on our album. Was it going to really fit that slot on the album? And so I thought so. I was like, yeah, I think this is one big country song. It's going to be perfect. Chris is like, I'm not so sure. And so we said, well, let's go to the studio. Let's cut it and let's see what happens. And so we went to the studio, we cut it. And I remember walking out, everybody's high-fiving. And we're like, yeah, man, sounds good. We get out to the car, we get out to the truck. And I said, hey, Chris, what do you think now? He's like, still not sure, man. I don't know. And I was like, oh, okay. So we go out on the road. We get out on stage one night, someplace, who knows where. And he says, hey, we're going to sing one big country song. And this is a new one. And I was like, I don't even know the words yet, right? And so I'm like trying to remember the words as fast as I can. And then we sing it. And by the time we get to the end of the first chorus, whole crowd singing along. And we kind of looked at each other, and I think we both knew right then and there that this was going to connect with everybody who ever hears it. And man, it went all the way to the top. So
is there a moment that you guys, okay, so you haven't been able to really tour. I'm sure you've done a couple of shows here and there, but the full tour you haven't been able to do, just like everybody else, for over a year now. When you think back on that, is there a moment, a memory that for you sticks out the most as, I can't wait to get back and do that, or I can't wait to get back and have that feeling again, or go through that process again?
I think a lot of it for me is the band, man. I miss the guys on the bus, the boy time, and that's our family. They're brothers to us, you know. I mean, and being around them, and you all gather around that circle right before we go on, and doing a little prayer and then getting all pumped up and stuff. It's like getting ready to go play football, but that feeling of getting ready to go on stage. You've been with your boys all day. You're ready to do this, and I can't wait to feel that again. Go ahead, Pete.
Man, I think it's the same thing. I miss those feelings coming off stage when we just sang I Love This Life and everybody's hands were up. And man, it gets your adrenaline going in a way that nothing else, for me and for Chris probably, nothing else can do. And we go back to the bus, and the band's not even back there yet. I mean, they're still playing, and we're already backstage, and you can hear the crowd screaming and still singing I Love This Life. And me and Chris are giving each other, a fist bump, and we're like, man, now that's what we're born to do. That's that feeling. And when it feels complete like that, the whole day has come together. That's the feeling, man. I miss so much. And I got a question for you, Coop.
Yeah.
So me and Chris, I'm going to switch subjects real quick because you're a music guy. So here's the deal. Me and Chris both have jukeboxes, and the jukeboxes are the old Waffle House jukeboxes. So they come from the Waffle Houses. It's the old vintage,
yep.
Right? If you could have one song on there, what would it be?
Wow.
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, you only get one song, 145.
Only one.
One song.
And I might put it on my jukebox as Coop's special song.
So here's the thing. It's an interesting question because if you can only have one song on there, what do you want it to be? Do you want it to be something upbeat that you can kind of party to, or do you want it to be something that's, hit you in the feels? I think for me, there's a song that I always go to that just makes me, I don't even know how to explain it. I just feel it from my soul. And it's a Garth Brooks song, and it's called What She's Doing Now. And just the beginning of the piano notes of that song, I can't even put into words the feeling that I get across my body when I hear those awesome first notes. So for me, it would probably be What She's Doing Now. What about you guys? Great question.
I mean,
I know Chris.
I had to put one song in there immediately, dude, and it's older. But I just remember my dad cranking it up, and it brings me back, man. It's a Power of Love, Huey Lewis.
Love that tune. Great song.
Dude, when that comes on, you're just like,
yeah.
Whoa.
It's a great.
I go back to when I was 7 or 8, and I'm like, this is amazing.
I love it.
Yeah, mine's gonna be I love a rainy night, Eddie Rabbit.
Great tune.
It just sets me right, man.
It's a great tune. Chris, my 7.5-year-old, his name is Jude. We keep the music going in the family. But he just watched Back to the Future for the first time a couple weeks ago. So he's obsessed with the movie. He's got the Legos and stuff like that, but he's really getting into the music too. And like, you know, all the 80s jams. But of course, the main song from that was the Huey Power of Love, obviously. So
how old is he?
7.5 now.
7.5?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, my son's 10 and we watch Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is like all 80s rock, so he made sure that Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, Twisted Sister, Rat is all in my jukebox.
I love it. I love it. That's great. How is it with you guys?
There should be a Cobra Kai playlist.
You're right.
Should be.
Somebody has one, I guarantee it. There's a playlist somewhere. Somebody's already got it done. So you guys are in different states now. That's got to be. It was weird for me when I first read the news because you guys are, you know, you're brothers, man. You guys been around forever together. Yeah. How is it for you guys being apart? Obviously, it happened during quarantine, so that just is what it is. And how do you see it affecting, I don't know, your relationship moving forward when things do get back to some form of normalcy?
Man, I think it made us stronger in a lot of ways, just because the separation creates, more conversation. I mean, we were together every single day, in Nashville. I mean, we lived in the same dang neighborhood.
Right.
So it was like, we would just the routine was wake up, get dressed and jump in the truck, go downtown, write a song. It was kind of the same thing every day. And so I think sometimes separation creates a lot more to talk about. And he's down there having a great time. And I love Tennessee. I mean, and it's perfect for me and my family, and Florida's perfect for him and his family. So in my opinion, I think it's been good for us.
Yeah, it hasn't really affected us. I mean, because I moved over a year ago and we were still doing road stuff, and the flight is an hour and a half. I mean, we usually I meet everybody at bus call like it's normal. And, the Zoom has definitely helped with the writing and stuff. But I mean, me and Preston, we don't fight anyway. We don't argue. We all have the same vision.
We're like an old married couple, Coop.
We know each other too well. We're like, that's going to piss him off. Oh, we just don't even do it. We don't even talk about it. Right. If it's going to piss him.
Right.
And we see other duos and they'll fight and they'll do this. And they're just like, we're the real duo. We both sing. We don't fight. It's like.
We should open a duo counseling center.
I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this. I think I might have to edit this out of the interview, but the other day the ACM voting opened and I put you guys down for duo of the year, because if there's a year, dude, you guys deserve it so freaking much.
Thanks, man.
My vote's in, so it's done. It's in there. So
that means a lot, Coop. Thank you, man.
Of course, absolutely.
Oh, that means a lot.
I didn't even vote for us, so I don't know.
kind of a sharp left turn from that topic. I wonder if you guys have ever thought about, have you discussed doing solo things like a Charles Kelly solo one-off album type thing? Has that conversation ever come up?
Never. Don't want to. I'm not.
I mean, who's got time to do all that stuff? I mean, we're working so hard trying to get songs up the charts and keep the whole thing moving, So I guess when you get like 50 number ones and and you got Grammys on the walls, you start thinking about other things you want to do. Man, that's never crossed our minds or our paths.
There's a loyalty thing that, and no offense to anybody that wants to. I mean, Tyler's our producer. He's doing something with Tim. Good for him, man. Tyler's a great guy. But we just feel like, and maybe we both had offers sometime to maybe do something, but I just don't. I don't want to be around. I want Preston involved in everything, and as he is with me, and that's a truthful thing. I mean, it's not, it's true. I mean, I don't want to do anything solo. I'm not interested.
Have you guys, do you like the Zoom writing, the Zoom jam sessions? Because I get mixed reactions from everybody. I was talking to Chris Jansen and he seems to love it. Thinks that like that's the way to go. He's going to continue to do it that way. He said he thinks people pay attention more when you're doing a writing session.
Let me tell you something about Chris Jansen. Let me tell you something about Chris Jansen. I talk to him about 3 times a day, every day.
Okay.
And I remember
it's been a rough week for Jim.
I remember when the COVID hit, man, and everybody started Zoom writing, he'd call me up and he's like, I ain't Zoom writing. I ain't gonna do it. And I'm like, and I said, now Jensen, we got to conform to technology for a minute. And we got to stay creative and keep writing songs. Sure. Nope. Count me out. I ain't doing Zoom writes. And, you know, and so now he loves them, loves Zoom writes. And it's funny.
I'm gonna take the audio. I'm gonna take the video. I got a video. It's on video. I'm gonna take the video of him saying that he loves the Zoom writing, and then I'm gonna paste it with yours right now.
Amazing.
I'm gonna tag him in it. Put it out there.
I love him so much, man. He just took him a little time to get used to it.
That's funny.
So you guys do like it then? You enjoy the Zoom writing sessions?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, the cool thing is we can write with people overseas, in LA. I've enjoyed it. It's harder because, you know, I have 3 kids too, and Preston has 2, and it's, you know, they're running around. I don't have like a spot in my house I can really just go when they're home because, you know, they're homeschooled for a while. So that was tough, but I enjoy it. I think it's cool. You know, I can go be with my kids if they did need me. I do miss the interaction when we are writing together in the room sometimes too, but you know.
We have a big write coming up on it's a big write to me, but on Monday we got a big write coming up with Tony Lane, and Tony's the guy who told me to move to Nashville. I was visiting Nashville. I went to a songwriters night and he blew my mind. I mean, he's just one of the best songwriters of all time in my opinion, and he told me to move down here, and I have never written with him ever since I've been here. And it's been sort of a dream, but sort of, I'm kind of nervous to write with him too. And so it happens this Monday coming up. And I'm kind of thinking about, you know, going over there instead of Zooming, because this is the moment. This is the one I want to sit in the same room and feel it. And, you know, so who knows? He may only be Zooming. I'm not sure, but
I mean, if he's a cough, so I don't care who he is. I'm not.
I mean, if he starts coughing, I'm gonna go home.
Right,
dude. I'm in Florida. Really, whatever.
It's funny.
I was gonna say, hey, if you want to go to B-Dub with a couple buddies and then kick back and have a beer, let's go to Florida because they're wide open down there, boy.
Let's go.
Let's do it. I love it. It's funny you were talking about, you know, the kids and all that, because I'm literally, as we speak, I'm in my master bedroom closet, and my 2-year-old, it could be, I mean, at any moment now, we could hear a knock on the door and a daddy, what are you doing kind of thing. So it's certainly, it's interesting, but it's, hey, man, I mean, it's real life, right? I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, you never hear us complain about it, especially any other parent. They're going to be like, yep.
Right.
Man, I'll tell you what, yesterday we were riding on Zoom, and my kids had an epic Game of Thrones battle to the end. I mean, they just went Game of Thrones.
I love it.
I heard swords. I heard vehicles. It was a clash of the Titans.
I love
it. And man, we lived through it, and we got the song wrote, so it's all good.
Let's have some.
In, though.
Oh, what's up? Oh, look at that, cutie. Let's go back a little bit, guys. Wild Horse Saloon. I love to bring this up because it's as someone who I was there when you guys were there. I went as a fan, you know, with my family, and we enjoyed what you guys did there. And you guys have obviously come so far since then. Is there a song that you think of back in those days that came on that you just dreaded having to get people to dance to? And by the way, for people that don't know, maybe they're newer fans, you guys used to DJ at the Wild Horse Saloon, and you'd get people out on the dance floor, and that was kind of your thing. But I have to imagine doing that all the time. There's got to be one song that sticks out that you're like, GD, I hate this song.
I know what one it is for Chris. I know what Chris is.
Yeah.
And I actually like the song, but he would not. What? I don't even think you'd play it.
I wouldn't play it because the one dude who would go out and country line dance would be louder than everybody, stomping and stomping. I'm like, bro, man. But it was his moment. I always gave it to him.
What was the tune?
It was his moment.
The songs for,
Oh.
Copperhead Road, man.
Copperhead Road. He lived for that moment, dude. He lived for that moment.
Lived.
A lot of line dancers that do, and I think that's why I don't like the song now. Is because I played it every day. But I do have to tell you the story. When we were DJs, we were kind of like the Howard Stern, kind of just breaking a little bit of the rules and pissing off the management, because we couldn't really do anything because people were actually coming to see us.
Right.
And all we were doing was hosting. And so we kind of took advantage of it, but we used to play Bubba Shot the Jukebox a lot, which I love. We love it. And it was on this CD. And I remember the manager, she just got the management job, and she comes down and she goes, I don't ever want to hear Bubba Shot the Jukebox again. And we're like,
she hated it.
Hated it. So you tell that to me and Preston, we're going to be like,
Guess what we're doing.
Bubba Shot the Jukebox is on repeat.
We left it on repeat and walked out, and then she came back and she's like, I don't want to hear this disc again. So the next night, we take the disc and we put the table in the middle of the dance floor in the Wild Horse and put candles all around it. And we played Puff Daddy, I'm Missing You. And we took it out, and there was a funeral for the CD, and all you hear was the DJ booth phone ringing, pissed off, ready to fire us.
We retired it like a jersey. We raised it into the rafters.
That's great. Have you guys told Mark Chestnut that story?
I don't think so.
You should.
That would be amazing.
Hilarious.
He would get a kick out of that, dude.
Yeah. What about, I want to talk about fashion, because you guys are killing it in the fashion game. The hat right now, Preston, dude, I'm loving. Thank
you, man.
You're putting together an outfit, you're putting together a look, a feel. What would you say is the one thing that's the most important part? Is it the shoes? Is it the hat? Is it the shirt? For both of you, what would it be?
I mean, I think shoes are very important.
That'd be mine too. It's got to be a shoe game kind of thing.
Yeah. My shoes are way more expensive than my clothes. It's crazy.
I've kind of gotten away from the shoe game much. I just wear boots or my camo boots. Man, I tell you, probably my hat. And I love, I also have a mohawk under here. So it's either the mohawk or the hat. You never know which one you're going to get that day. But the turkey feather is special to me because every spring I go turkey hunting and I get a turkey, and that is from turkey that particular year. So This turkey feather has been with me since I shot my last turkey. Yeah. And then this spring, I will retire that turkey feather, and then I'll put the new one in. And so I kind of carry that hunt with me the whole year. And it kind of means something to me.
That's really cool. What do you do when you retire them? Do you just toss them out, or do you keep them somewhere?
No, I put them someplace special, and I give them to people when I feel like it's a special moment, because I feel like feathers are symbolic, and I feel like that they're sort of like good luck, and you kind of have to take care of a feather or it falls apart on you. And so when you give somebody a feather, well, they kind of like, they don't know what to do. They're like, oh shit. Yeah. They're just like holding it. Trying to fit, where do I put it? You know? And so they kind of put it someplace special. And in fact, I got this badass drone, right? And so Chris lived about 2 or 3 blocks away from me. And I took this drone, and I had just shot a turkey, and I just did the feathers and all of it, and made turkey jerky. I make awesome turkey jerky. Nice. I'll send you a bag.
Please do.
And so, I took this feather, a really beautiful feather from the turkey, and I tied it to the bottom of the drone. And I sent the drone up in the air, and I flew it over to Chris's house, and I landed it in his backyard. And I said, hey, have your boy come out. I got him a feather, because he was on the hunt with us. It was me, Chris, and Caden when we got that turkey. And so I wanted Caden to have one of the feathers from that turkey.
That's cool.
And so I sent it over to him. And then he pulled the string and got the feather, and I flew the drone home. It was awesome.
That is too cool.
My move. I realized we lived way too close after that, so I was gone.
Time to go to Florida.
You can't drone here.
You can't live close to me. I'll drone some turkey feathers over to you.
What's the craziest thing or coolest thing, I guess, you've done with the drone? Because I got a little, I think it's the Mavic Mini 2, I don't know. But it's cool, man. You can go up, like way up in the sky, and I checked out, we got some woods across the street, and you just kind of get some really cool video and kind of check out some cool stuff. What's the coolest thing you've been able to do with it?
Well, I'll tell you this. I do my turkey scouting from my drone now. And it's I never hunt and I never base my hunt off of the results. But it's kind of nice to just like send it over to the woods, because there's some woods over there. There's about 100 acres where I hunt right here. And I send it out there and I can see the patterns and the movements of the animals from above.
That's cool.
And I love watching that, because it's like, okay, around noon, I know they're coming from this direction, and I can kind of monitor that. I can also go back and check my feeders and see if my feeders are, putting the corn out right and stuff. I can lower it right down to the feeder and look at it. It's awesome.
That's too cool. Too cool. Chris, what kind of hobby did you get into then? Because, I think everybody picked up a little something extra during this quarantine and whatnot. What do you got going on?
The honey-do list is real. It's real, man. Dishes, laundry, all the above. I've been doing a lot of work around the house. There's some stuff I've been doing, put up blinds the other day. Just stuff that, when I get done, I feel like a man.
Yeah, right.
Building stuff, built a shelf, built my bourbon wall. Want to see the bourbon wall?
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, get out of here. That is killer, man. That is awesome.
Yeah. There's some things I do, but like you said, dude, the being with the family, my little girls have attached to me more than anything. Me and my boy have always been attached like that, but the girls have now, there's a reason for everything.
Yep.
I hate that it's COVID. I hate that people are dying from it, but it's maybe our kids needed us this year.
Yep.
Maybe they did. We just don't know it yet. And so I'm just taking advantage of that moment right now.
It's funny you say that, because that was kind of the same thing for me. I've been doing morning radio for a long time here in Philadelphia. And since my kids have been born, I've always been doing a morning show. So I've never seen them off to school. I've never had breakfast with them other than, on the weekends and whatnot. And so to be able to wake up and go out there and cook a little, eggs and bacon and sit down with my kids before they go to Catholic school. So they're actually in person learning, which has been, a blessing for us, obviously. But to be able to kind of see them off has been, I can't explain it. It's just, it fills your heart right up. It's certainly a positive.
You're right, man. My little boy loves Dada eggs. He's named them Dada eggs.
I love it.
And I don't know that he would have even known that term or that phrase had COVID not hit, because now I'm making Dada eggs every single morning.
Yep.
So it's a cool memory maker.
Let's talk beers to catch up on. We're going to play the single here in a second, and I really hope everybody listening or watching this goes and listens to the album Brothers. Phenomenal album. As I mentioned, God Thing is my personal favorite, but really everything on there is phenomenal. I want to play a game called Beer or Not. I'm going to run down 4 different names of beer. Some of them are real, some of them are not. They're crazy names, obviously. You guys tell me which one's real, which one's not. Number 1, You're My Boy Blue. You're My Boy Blue. Is that a beer, yes or no?
That is a beer. I took a picture of it the other day and sent it to the guy who wrote Old School.
Absolutely correct. It is a beer, and I need to have that now. That's amazing. Number 2, Citra Ass Down. Citra Ass Down. Is that a beer? Yes or no?
If it ain't a beer, I want to drink it. That's awesome.
It is 1000% a beer. Citra Ass Down.
Sit your ass down.
Number 3, Rough and Rowdy. Rough and Rowdy. Is it a beer? Yes or no?
That sounds like a beer to me.
I'm going to say no.
It's not. I looked it up, and I even Googled the hell out of it to make sure that it wasn't one, but I made that up. So if anybody's looking for a beer name, grab it.
There you go.
Last one, Hoptimus Prime. Hoptimus Prime.
1000%.
That is brilliant.
1000%.
That is brilliant.
It is a beer, and you got to Google it because the can is the coolest looking can. Just imagine what the thing looks like. It's pretty awesome.
I can't. That's awesome.
Does it look like Optimus?
Yeah, it is, and it's got like the blue color behind it and like the Transformer looking face on it. It's cool. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
Preston, Chris, thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time. I am so excited to see you guys continue to put out hits on the radio. We're going to play Beers to Catch Up on again. Go check out Brothers, the album. And I can't wait to see you guys live real soon. Thank you so much, guys.
Dude, congratulations.
Man, I love you, brother.
You're blowing up, man. I love seeing you. I love watching you on Instagram and everything too. So it's good for you.
Congrats.
Thank you guys. Love you too, man. Take care. We'll talk soon.
All right. See you.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications from radio.com. While you're at it, why don't you check out some of our other great videos.